Hey, what's going on, Guardians? TBL here, and there is so much information coming out today that it's a little bit difficult to keep up with it all. But in addition to getting a massive overlook of how patrols are going to work within the European Dead Zone in Destiny 2, we also got some more specific information on how exactly lost sectors and regional chests are going to be working in Destiny 2. We got trailers today from Bungie introducing the European Dead Zone, 90 minutes of uncut, unedited exploration footage from Game Informer, and an article or two on the PlayStation blog explaining in more detail some of the facets and exploration activities we'll be getting into when it comes to Destiny 2's patrols. And over the course of this video, we're just going to very quickly talk a bit about how specifically adventures and lost sectors are going to work within Destiny 2. Now let's start things off with adventures. Adventures are basically brand new, and they represent some of the beefiest content in the European Dead Zone. Bungie themselves have described adventures like this: if the campaign is a novel, adventures are short stories. And based on the footage that we've gotten today, that certainly seems to be the case. Adventures are essentially going to be like side missions that you can pick up while exploring the world. These adventures will contain scripted events, voiceovers, story elements, and objectives that you'll need to complete, taking you from one zone to the next, and will generally play out like miniature versions of story events. When you start an adventure from the map, it'll generally pick up somewhere in patrol and give you a bit of narration from one of the game's characters, directing you towards a threat in the area while also explaining a bit more about the enemy factions that you'll be facing in Destiny 2. These adventures are actually going to be packed with lore and are going to be one of the main ways in which we learn about some of the backstory going on in the world of Destiny. These adventures will send you on short objectives. For example, one we've gotten to see is sabotaging a Cabal base camp by messing with its power source, before then learning about a secret weapon in a nearby Cabal base. The adventure then has you head to that base, sabotage, and destroy that weapon while fighting off increasing waves of Cabal. Completing the objectives within these adventures will get you all kinds of loot, including rare weapons and armor, engrams, and EDZ tokens, a new form of currency that you can utilize to level up the EDZ faction. These self-contained stories will be littered across the map and will be well worth your time in terms of rewards. Additionally, we've learned a bit more about how exactly lost sectors are going to work. Lost sectors are not going to be marked anywhere on your map. You'll just have to find them on your own. And they can be found by locating small, non-trackable, oftentimes enigmatic icons that will just be scattered across the game world. Upon finding lost sectors, they'll lead to hidden, labyrinthian areas that will require players to basically cave dive and explore drainage systems or caves, or even train system networks similar to those on Mars in Destiny 1. But inside the lost sectors will be huge groups of enemies with really big loot caches. Each lost sector is going to have a specific large loot cache that can only be opened upon defeating a special elite named enemy that's going to be guarding the area. And upon defeating that elite enemy, you'll gain that sector's cache code, allowing you to open that cache and get the loot that's going to be held within. So lost sectors are going to be much more simple in that you simply find the sector, destroy everything inside, including the big name boss, open the chest, get your loot. So essentially, lost sectors are going to be a very simple but very fun way to gear yourself up in Destiny 2, maybe while you're waiting for some public events to spawn. And I certainly can't wait to get my hands on them. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about in this specific video is the notion that certain subclasses have indeed been confirmed to be returning in Destiny 2. And these subclasses are the Nightstalker class for Hunters and the Stormcaller class for Warlocks. Now, this information is coming out of some of Game Informer's videos, specifically their closer look at Destiny 2's European Dead Zone. Within that video, they looted a lost sector and received an item called the Fractured Arrow. This is a hunter relic that looks like it might be the Nightstalker class. Upon discovering it, the artifact gave them the update stating, "You have found an object filled with lost power. Press select to inspect it." And later on in their exploration, they found something very similar for Warlocks called the Cracked Talisman, and it was an Arc Warlock relic. That item dropped from one of the regional golden chests. Now, why is this of note? Specifically in the Warlock image, it read, "This artifact is one of the keys to regaining your lost power. It has been added to your subclass inventory." And this actually ties in with another bit of footage coming from the 90 minutes of Destiny 2's new European Dead Zone gameplay video coming out of Game Informer. At about 60 minutes into that video, they head back into the map, and on their milestones list for tracking achievements, they have this: Arc Light Stirring. Rekindle your lost abilities by defeating enemies and fighting alongside fellow Guardians in public events. They were about 23% of the way done with completing that challenge, and underneath it, it said the words new subclass with the arc symbol next to it. And remember, the class that this player was playing on was indeed a warlock. So that's a very strong sign towards Stormcaller if you were to ask me. All of this definitely seems to be pointing towards the fact that some, if not all, of those classic Taken King subclasses are going to be returning in Destiny 2. And it looks like you'll be able to reawaken some of those subclasses, possibly by getting these artifacts, starting off sort of a mini questline to recharge your own power as a Guardian, and then re-unlocking those subclasses, which sounds freaking amazing if you ask me. So again, tons of information today, and it looks like some of those classic subclasses will be returning in Destiny 2. But anyways, that's it for this one, Guardians. What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to be getting Stormcaller, Nightstalker, and Sunbreaker back with Destiny 2? I would say, given the evidence we've seen today, that certainly looks to be the case. But alright, that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you're staying tuned to Planet Destiny, where we will be covering all of the new information we're learning about Destiny 2 as it comes out. But I'm out for now. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.